His feeling, when it is deep, is a force which a woman may but dimly understand. The strongest passion of a man's life is his love for his sweetheart. Woman's greatest love is lavished upon her child. One is the lover and one is the loved. Sometimes the positions are reversed, to the misery of all concerned. But normally man is the lover. He wins love by pleading for it, and there is no way by which a woman may more surely lose it, for while woman's pity is closely akin to love, man's pity is a poor relation who wears love's cast-off clothes. There are two other ways in which a woman loses her lover. One is by marrying him, and the other by retaining him as her friend. If she can keep him as her friend, she never believes in his love, and husbands and lovers are often two very different possessions. A man's heart is an office desk, wherein tender episodes are pigeonholed for future reference. If he is too busy to look them over, they are carried off later in Father Time's junk wagon, like other and more profane history. All the isolated loves of a woman's life are woven into a single continuous fabric. Love itself is the thing she needs, and the man who offers it seldom matters much. Man loves and worships woman, but woman loves love. Were it not so, there would be no actor's photograph upon the matinee girl's dressing table, and no bit of tender verse would be fastened to her cushion with a hat-pin while she herself was fancy-free. Gift and giver. All her life long she confuses the gift with the giver, and loving with the pride of being loved, because her love is responsive rather than original. The Forgotten Harp. She demands that the lover's devotion shall continue after marriage, that every look shall be tender and every word adoring. Failing this, she knows that love is dead. She is inevitably disappointed in marriage, because she is no longer his fear, intoxication, and pain, but rather his comrade and friend. The vibrant strings, struck from silence and dreams to a sounding chord, are trembling still, whispering, lingering music to him who has forgotten the harp. When a woman once tells a man she loves him, he regards it as some chemical process which has taken place in her heart, and he never considers the possibility of change. He is little concerned as to its expression, for he knows it is there. On the contrary, it is only by expression that a woman ever feels certain of a man's love. Doubt is the essential and constant quality of her nature when once she loves. She continually demands new proof and new devotion, consoling herself sometimes with the thought that 3 days ago he said he loved her, and there has been no discord since. As for him, if his comfort is assured, he never thinks to question her, for men are as blind as love. If she seems glad to see him and is not distinctly unpleasant, she may even be a little preoccupied without arousing suspicion. A man likes to feel that he is loved, and a woman likes to be told. The use of any faculty exhausts it. The ear, deafened by a cannon, is incapable for the moment of hearing the human voice. The eyes, momentarily blinded by the full glare of the sun, miss the delicate shades of violet and sapphire in the smoke from a wood fire. We soon become accustomed to condiments and perfume, and the same law applies to sentiment and emotion. The lover's devotion. Thus it seems to women that men love spasmodically, that the lover's devotion is a series of unrelated acts based upon momentary impulse, rather than a steady purpose. They forget that the heart may need more rest than the interval between beats. Attraction and repulsion. If a man and woman who truly loved each other were cast away upon a desert island, he would tire of her long before she wearied of him. The sequence of attraction and repulsion, the ultimate balance of positive and negative, are familiar electrical phenomena. Is it unreasonable to suppose that the supreme form of attraction is governed by the same law? Strong attractions frequently begin with strong repulsions, sometimes mutual, but more often on the part of the attracting force. A man seldom develops a violent and inexplicable hatred for a woman, and later finds that it has unaccountably changed to love. Yet a woman often marries a man she has sincerely hated, and the explanation is simple enough, perhaps, for a woman never hates a man unless he is in some sense her master. Love and hate are kindred passions with a woman, and the depth of the one is the possible measure of the other. She is wise who fully understands her weapon of coquetry. She will send her lover from her at the moment his love is strongest, and he will often seek her in vain. She will be parsimonious with her letters and caresses, and thus keep her attention at its height. If he is forever unsatisfied, he will always be her lover, for satiety must precede repulsion. No woman need fear the effect of absence upon the man who honestly loves her. The needle of the compass, regardless of intervening seas, points forever toward the north. Pitiful indeed is she who fails to be a magnet and blindly becomes a chain. The age has brought with it woman's desire for equality, at least in the matter of love. She wishes to be as free to seek a man as he is to seek her, to love him as freely and frankly as he does her. Why should she withhold her lips after her heart has surrendered? Why should she keep the pretense of coyness long after she has been won? The Old, Old Law. Far beneath the tinsel of our restless age lies the old, old law, and she who scorns it does so at the peril of all she holds most dear. Legislation may at times be disobeyed, but never law, for the breaking brings swift punishment of its own. Too often a generous-hearted woman makes the mistake of full revelation. She wishes him to understand her every deed, her every thought. Nothing is left to his imagination. The innermost corners of her heart are laid bare. Given the woman and the circumstances, he would infallibly know her action. This is why the husbands of the practical, the methodical, and the reasonable woman may be tender and devoted, but are never lovers after marriage. If Alexander had been a woman, he would not have sighed for more worlds to conquer. Woman asks but one. If his world had been a clever woman, he would have had no time for alien planets, because a man will never lose his interest in a woman while his conquest is incomplete. The woman who is most tenderly loved, and whose husband is still her lover, carefully conceals from him the fact that she is fully won. There is always something he has yet to gain. A Carmen at heart. After 10 years of marriage, if the old relation remains the same, it is because she is a Carmen at heart. She is alluring, tempting, cajoling, and scorning in the same breath. At once tender and commanding, inspiring both love and fear, baffling and eluding even while she is leading him on. She gives him veiled hints of her real personality, but he never penetrates her mask. Could he see for an instant into the secret depths of her soul, he would understand that her concealment and her coquetry, her mystery and her charm, are nothing but her love, playing a desperate game against time and man's nature, for the dear stake of his own. Dumas draws a fine distinction when he says, "A man may have 2 passions, but never 2 loves. Whoever has loved twice has never loved at all." If this is true, the dividing line is so exceedingly fine that it is beyond woman's understanding, and it may be surmised that even man does not fully realize it until he is old and gray. The Chords of Memory. Yet somewhere in every man's heart is hidden a woman's face. To that inner chamber no other image ever finds its way. The chords of memory which hold it are strong as steel and as tender as the heart fibre of which they are made. There is no time in his life when those eyes would not thrill him and those lips make him tremble. No hour when the sound of that voice would not summon him like a trumpet call. No loyalty or allegiance is powerful enough to smother it within his own heart, in spite of the conditions to which he may outwardly conform. Other passions may temporarily hide it even from his own sight, yet in reality it is supreme from the day of its birth to the door of his grave. He may be happily married, as the world counts happiness, and she may be dead.